Brought to you by...
The early 2000s was a weird time for horror films. There seemed to be a lot of experimentation going on, blending classic concepts with new, modern ideas, popular music choices, and great casting. Some films took some bigger risks, though, exploring concepts that most studios would never touch today. This is one that floats on those uncharted waters. Hello friends, and welcome back to ETF. The main story of Ghost Ship follows a team of salvage experts led by Gabriel Byrne's Murphy and Juliana Margulies' Epps as they discover the long-lost Antonio Graza adrift in the Bering Sea. At first, the ship seems like a gold mine, a treasure trove waiting to be claimed. However, as the crew explores its eerie, decaying corridors, they uncover sinister secrets, including the ship's ghostly inhabitants, and the cursed gold that ties the spirits to their doom. Directed by Steve Beck and released in 2002, Ghost Ship is a supernatural horror film that has garnered a cult following, primarily for its daringly brutal opening scene and its grim, moody atmosphere. While the film treads familiar waters with its ghostly premise, it manages to carve a niche as an edgy entry into the early 2000s horror landscape. The film's opening sequence is often regarded as one of the most memorable and brutal in horror from that time. Set aboard the opulent luxury liner, the Antonio Graza, in 1962, the scene begins with an air of elegance and joy as the passengers enjoy a formal dance on the deck. However, the tone takes a sharp turn when a thin wire suddenly snaps and slices through the crowd, dismembering almost everyone in a grotesque and startling fashion. The sequence is as shocking as it is effective, blending slow-motion visuals with a haunting score to create a moment that immediately hooks the audience. The aftermath, frozen expressions of terror and dismembered bodies, sets a high bar for the film's tone, and serves as a stark reminder of the stakes at play. Ghost Ship excels in its production design. The Antonio Graza is portrayed as both grand and grotesque, a decaying relic frozen in time. The ship's interior is rife with atmospheric lighting, rust-streaked walls, and hauntingly beautiful set pieces that evoke both awe and terror. The film maintains an edgy tone throughout, balancing moments of visceral horror with a pervasive sense of unease. This edge, however, occasionally dips into early 2000s cliché, with heavy reliance on jump scares and a nu metal soundtrack that dates the film heavily. Still, it complements the film's grim aesthetic, creating a horror experience that feels distinctively of its era. Juliana Margulies stands out as the film's emotional anchor. Her portrayal of Epps is grounded and determined, offering a relatable perspective amidst the supernatural chaos. Gabriel Byrne brings a gravitas to Murphy, though his character lacks the depth to fully capitalize on his talents. The supporting cast, including Isaiah Washington, Ron Eldard, and an early performance from Carl Urban, which is always fun, serves primarily as fodder for the film's gruesome set pieces, though each actor delivers a solid performance. The characters' interactions with the ship's ghosts provide some of the film's most intriguing moments, especially as the team pieces together the Antonio Graza's grim history. These ghostly revelations are chilling, if not entirely original, often relying on visual effects to enhance the horror. While haunted houses dominate supernatural horror, Ghost Ship takes its terror to the high seas. The ship's isolated, inescapable environment amplifies the tension, and its grand yet rotting aesthetic contributes to an atmosphere that's eerie and claustrophobic. This maritime horror setting hasn't yet been overdone, giving Ghost Ship a distinct identity compared to the numerous haunted mansions or asylums often seen in the genre. The film's aesthetic is a defining characteristic. From the rust-covered walls to the dim flickering lighting and flooding chambers, the Graza feels alive with decay. As I said, this grimy industrial atmosphere is complemented by its nu metal soundtrack and early 2000s stylistic choices, giving the film a gritty, edgier tone than many other polished supernatural horror films. While many supernatural horrors rely solely on unseen forces or fleeting apparitions, Ghost Ship blends ghostly hauntings with visceral physical horror. The cursed gold and the malevolent ferryman create a tangible, driving force behind the hauntings, tying the supernatural elements to greed and betrayal. This dual-layered threat, psychological and physical, adds complexity to the dangers faced by the characters. At its core, Ghost Ship isn't just about hauntings. It's a cautionary tale about greed and the corrupting influence of wealth. The cursed gold that leads to the ship's doom serves as a metaphor for humanity's darker impulses. This thematic exploration, while not groundbreaking, gives the film a sense of moral consequence, often absent in straightforward supernatural horror. From the grandeur of the opening ballroom scene to the haunted visions from the past, Ghost Ship boasts several striking visual moments. The scene where Epps witnesses the tragic events leading to the Antonio Graza's demise is particularly chilling, offering a ghostly montage that conveys the ship's history of violence. These moments elevate the film visually, creating haunting imagery that lingers. Though critically panned upon its release, Ghost Ship has achieved cult status over the years, particularly among fans of early 2000s horror. Its edgy tone, memorable opening, and unique setting resonate with audiences who appreciate its distinct, slightly campy charm. It's become a nostalgic piece for viewers who grew up during that era of horror filmmaking. In a genre filled with haunted houses, malevolent spirits, and gothic aesthetics, Ghost Ship distinguishes itself by combining an unconventional setting, bold visuals, and a mix of supernatural and physical horror, with a pretty killer soundtrack. While it may not have the narrative depth or critical acclaim of other supernatural horror classics, it carves out its place as a memorable, stylistically unique entry, with an opening scene that has yet to be rivaled in its sheer audacity. While Ghost Ship focuses primarily on delivering scares, one last note would be that the film also delves into the idea of purgatory, with the Antonio Graza serving as a sort of liminal space where unresolved grievances manifest in violent and ghostly ways. This thematic depth, while not realized, adds a layer of intrigue to the narrative. Ghost Ship is far from perfect, but its chilling atmosphere, memorable visuals, and audacious opening scene make it worth revisiting. While it leans heavily on horror conventions, its edgy tone and supernatural elements provide a unique, if flawed, cinematic experience. For fans of ghostly horrors and gory thrills, this film still holds water. Well, friends, that's gonna be all for now. If you're interested in this film, I urge you to check it out for yourself and formulate your own thoughts and opinions about it. I hope you come share those thoughts in the comments. Let me know if there are any movies that you would like to see discussed on this channel. I always love to hear from you guys, and I do my best to try and respond to everyone. As always, I have put a link down in the description to a physical copy of the film, if one exists, so that you can add it to your collection. Using that link helps out the channel, and that is always appreciated. Furthermore, if you like the video, I urge you to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you aren't already. I know many of you watching aren't yet subscribed, so help support the channel. Subscribe. If you'd like to go the extra mile and support the channel even more, we do have a Patreon. And if you sign up for our Rated R tier level, you can get yourself access to the ETF Digital Archive. We get a lot of compliments about the VHS collection that you guys see in the background of almost all of our videos. Well, we have been hard at work slowly digitizing that collection and creating a place where we can share it with all of you. Thanks to the help of the Plex platform, one of this channel's sponsors, we can now do just that. This is our way of doing our part to help preserve that gritty, nostalgic VHS look and feeling before it's gone forever. So as a special thank you for becoming a Rated R tier member, you will be added to our ETF Archive Plex server, so that you can stream our VHS collection from anywhere at any time. It's basically like having a streaming service for VHS, which I think is pretty cool. We also have a Mercari store, where you can go and get yourself a little piece of the ETF archive. While collecting VHS, Blu-rays, and DVDs over many years, we wind up with lots of duplicates, and we unfortunately can't store them all. So on our Mercari shop, we have those for sale. Purchasing those not only expands your collection, but makes room for us to expand ours. All the links for everything are down in the description. Until next time, stay safe, and as always, thanks for watching.